Right now, live coverage from Southern California on the night before the 106th Rose Bowl game in Pasadena. And on the night of New Year's Eve celebrations, how local EMS first responders prepare for the annual festivities. Plus, we'll show you some of the New Year's celebrations across the globe straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us. We are less than 20 hours away from the start of the Rose Bowl. It is a rematch of the 2012 Rose Bowl where the Oregon Ducks topped the Badgers. And once again, we have team coverage tonight. Eric Franke and Melissa Kim both live right now in Southern California, but we're going to begin with Eric, the birthday boy, who has been following along with the thousands of Badger fans out there, how they're getting geared up for tomorrow's game and big parade. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Charlotte, and Happy New Year, everyone, on this special eve of the Badgers Rose Bowl game. And it has been an absolutely beautiful day. The last couple days have really been nice for Badger fans out here who are just taking in a very packed itinerary of all these things that are on their schedule of things to do around the Rose Bowl game. And today, one big event that was going on was the Rose Bowl Bash. That was at Fan Fest, a few blocks from us. At The Block, it's called. It's an entertainment district here in downtown. It was complete with a UW marching band. Once again, the cheerleaders, plenty of spirits to keep their New Year's Eve spirits high as well. We talked to several fans just soaking in the entire experience, everything it has to offer, whether it's their first Rose Bowl or their fifth or sixth.
This is just a blast. You know, like I said, watching the Rose Bowl Bash turn into another Wisconsin pep rally with the band here was just fantastic.
Everything has been just awesome. I mean, the hospitality, you know, the places we've gone to eat, everybody's just been super, super nice. You know, and it's nice to see everybody, you know, in the hotel, and everybody's real friendly, you know, and it's been a great experience.
And they'll have a quick turnaround if they're going to have some New Year's Eve fun tonight. And then they want to get up tomorrow early, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 Central will be the beginning of the Tournament of Roses parade. A lot of these folks want to see that as well. That's a thing they cannot miss. So that's early tomorrow. Now, one guy who you really wonder what's going through his head in this whole process, and that's the new UW marching band director, Corey Pompey, who we spotted today at Fan Fest and tried to gauge how he's feeling. Of course, he's following in the footsteps of a legend, UW band director Mike LaCrone, who retired last year. And Mike had, of course, led this marching band through the last 6 Rose Bowls since 1994. For Corey, he's really embracing this experience, both the game tomorrow and, of course, the Tournament of Roses parade.
To see all of those people come and support this university, this football team, in such an iconic venue like LA Live in the Staples Center, there's just nothing like it.
And, you know, a lot of people are going to be watching to see when the Badgers are going to be in that parade, the Badger Marching Band. There are about 100 entries in that parade, and it's a busy day for those folks. The band will be about 37th, Corey thought, but he wasn't totally sure. But if you're looking for the Badgers, they'll be about the 37th from the front of the Tournament of Roses parade in the morning. So a busy day, of course, with the parade, Badger fans partying tonight as well, and the big game tomorrow, 4 o'clock Central Time. The Badgers and the Oregon Ducks, as you mentioned, Charlotte, that rematch from 2012. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Shaping up to be a very good game. We'll hear more a little bit later in sports. Melissa Kim will have the complete details on how the final preparations are being done for the Badger football team.
All right, Eric, you are done for the night. Enjoy the rest of your birthday in Southern California.
Take
care. And be sure to stay with News 3 Now for the most complete Rose Bowl coverage. Eric Franke, Melissa Kim, and Kevin Lewis will be in California through tomorrow. The National Weather Service in Green Bay says an ice jam on the Oconto River is responsible for flooding in the city of Oconto. The city has declared a flood emergency and is urging drivers to stay off the roads until the water subsides. In Madison, it feels a little more seasonal, and any additional precipitation will hold off for at least a couple of days. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is here with a look at your forecast.
We get a little bit of a break after the snow that came through last night. It was nice to wake up on New Year's Eve with a little bit of snow coming on through, and now that the winds calmed down, not too bad outside. Black River Falls at about 5.5 inches. Here at the station, just checked on the backyard patio. We picked up about 1.5 inches. So areas north of Madison, of course, picking up just a little more snowfall. Today, very seasonal outside. High temperatures in the upper 20s. 20s. We started the day off in the low 20s thanks to that mostly cloudy sky. Sunsets at 4:32, and that's just going to continue to get earlier and earlier. Now our Doppler radar is quiet. We're mostly clear right now. Midnight's right around the corner, and temperatures are going to stay near 20. Your New Year's Day is quiet, but we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the rest of the week to start off the year in just a few minutes.
As you are welcoming 2020, others see the holiday as an opportunity to steal. Data shows New Year's Day is the holiday you're most likely to have your car stolen. Our Amanda Quintana is here with those details.
That data comes from the National Insurance Crime Bureau, showing New Year's Day was the #1 holiday for car thefts in 2018. That year, almost 2,600 cars were stolen on New Year's Day across the country. That's compared to an average of less than 2,200 on other days. Police are used to responding to more car break-ins and thefts during the winter, saying right now car thefts has become an epidemic in our area. Sauk Prairie police have seen more in 2019 than they've seen in previous years.
The biggest thing is telling people to lock their cars up, keeping valuables out of your car. One of the newer things is to take the garage door openers in at night. That never used to be something you used to tell people, but with this recent string of thefts from cars, and it's been something new.
Rarely break into cars. They simply go down a street trying to open unlocked doors. It's a problem police expect to keep seeing in 2020. Officer Griffin says, although many people think it won't happen in your small neighborhood or when people are in the Christmas spirit and celebrating, unfortunately, it will.
As the countdown to midnight approaches, some will be spending the night turning the decade working in case celebrations get out of hand. Madeline O'Neill spoke with emergency responders about what New Year's Eve means to them.
Well, doctors at SSM Health say the emergency room was already busy today with more people coming in with the flu and from slipping on ice outside. Now, that was before tonight's celebrations.
Look at the Capitol as the sun sets and eat a bunch of good food and have a bunch of drinks.
As many pop a bottle to welcome in a new year, others are ready for any accidents that pop up.
We do see a lot of alcohol-related injuries, just from intoxication, but then all the accidents that can happen from that too.
As a medical director for SSM Health's emergency room, Dr. Kyle Martin estimates it gets about 20% busier than average on New Year's Eve.
You know, you can imagine what it would look like, and it does sometimes fit that description. I mean, it's crazy busy. Firework-related injuries, ironically, you do see a lot of. Our hand surgeons can be busy on New Year's.
Every day when you come into work, you prepare for the worst and, hope for the best, right?
Madison Fire Department Lieutenant John Mast doesn't dread working overnight New Year's Eve.
I don't want to say it's low-key, but it's pretty normal. We don't have most of the UW students, college students are out of town, home on break, so some of the downtown bars are a little less crowded.
Mast will be working until 7 a.m. New Year's Day and may miss the rollover to the new decade altogether.
A lot of times you're out on a call and you leave at 11:50 and you come back and it's 12:15 and all the confetti went off and fireworks went off, and it's part of our job.
A job he's happy to do.
Bring in 2020, here we go.
Getting everyone into the new year.
Cheers!
Safely.
Definitely new beginnings. Yeah, especially for a new decade.
Now, of course, officials warn against drinking and driving, but if you're out walking, you want to be careful too. Not only is it pretty cold out tonight, but many pedestrian versus car crashes are caused by alcohol. Now, firefighters say it's always a good idea to use the buddy system.
A reminder to be safe while you are celebrating the new year tonight. Programs like the Tavern League's Safe Ride offer free transportation. The program has provided almost 93,000 rides in Wisconsin within the last year alone. You can ask your bartender to call Safe Ride for you. AAA is also offering tow-to-go service. A tow truck can take you and your car home if you've had too much to drink. The number to call is 855, the number 2, TOW, the number 2, GO. So that's 855-2-TOW-to-GO. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul's first year in office was a mixed bag of big wins and frustrating defeats. The Democrat fulfilled a campaign pledge by finishing analysis of thousands of untested rape evidence kits. He switched the state Justice Department's stance in cases challenging factory farms and high-capacity well permits to support environmentalists. He also withdrew from a lawsuit seeking to undo the federal health care law, but he saw Republicans dramatically weaken his authority during a lame duck session and couldn't get any new gun control measures passed. Tonight is the last night for Visions nightclub on the East Side. Starting tomorrow afternoon, it will be closed for 3 months as an agreement with the city following several recent incidents at the club. When they reopen, they will need to have improved security and safety policies. In Washington, D.C., the museum opened its doors one last time today. Crowds came to the museum before it officially closes at its current location on Pennsylvania Avenue. The museum honoring the free press opened in 2008. It has since faced financial struggles and had to compete with free museums nearby. The building was sold to Johns Hopkins University in January. The museum hopes to reopen somewhere else as the search for a new location is still underway. A missing Beloit teen who was found dead in the Rock River Monday morning. 18-year-old Jeremiah Young had been missing since November. The medical examiner's office didn't say how he died, but as of right now, there is no suggestion of foul play associated with his death. The preliminary results of an autopsy are pending further study. Young's parents say he was 1 in a million, and what they will remember most about their son is his smile and willingness to help others in his community.
He had a beautiful smile, and it just lifts your spirits up, you know. He was just so happy, so happy.
He just always had a hop in his step.
Yeah, he had a bounce.
The Beloit School District sent out a letter to Beloit Memorial High School families today saying, "We are saddened by the loss to our school community and will make every effort to help you and your child. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jeremiah's family and friends at this time." Still ahead tonight at 10, what the Census Bureau says is behind a declining population growing in the U.S. Plus, from Paris to Sydney and Athens, we'll check out some of the biggest New Year celebrations in the world when we come back. Fewer births, more deaths, and less international migration are all leading to the U.S. population growing more slowly. The Census Bureau has released its population estimates, and it shows that since July of 2018, the number of people in the U.S. has increased by only 0.48%. A slow population growth rate is nothing new to the country. Growth has slowed every year since 2015. Legal marijuana goes on sale tomorrow in Illinois. Marijuana is now legal in 11 states for adults over the age of 21 and legal for medical use in 33 states. The governor signed the bill into law in June. Today, he granted more than 11,000 pardons for low-level marijuana convictions. Tonight, people around the world are marking the start of a new year. And as always, one of the most watched celebrations is happening in Times Square in New York City. CBS's Hillary Lane is there.
Crowds gathered around the world on Tuesday to say goodbye to 2019. The new year and new decade began with a bang in Athens, Greece, as fireworks lit up the night sky over the ancient Acropolis. In Paris, crowds gathered to mark the start of 2020. As the clock ticked down to midnight in the U.S., the country's biggest celebration was already underway in New York's Times Square.
It's a bucket list item, so always wanted to come to New York and do it in Times Square.
I love the music, I love dancing, I love everybody's energy, everybody is super nice.
Revelers had to pass through several layers of security, and many had been here for hours, some since the morning. If they left, they couldn't come back. Watching over the crowd, thousands of police officers, some in uniform, others in plain clothes. And this year, for the first time, drones were used to help monitor the crowd from above.
We look at what's evolving, what has happened, what do we need to do to be safer and better.
Tight security is now standard operating procedure for this event, even though the NYPD said it was unaware of any credible threats against it. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
And here is a live look at Times Square. The ball is set to drop on the East Coast in less than an hour. Officials estimate around 1 million people will watch it fall in New York City tonight. Look at those streamers already just begging to fall.
They're getting ready.
Oh, Dana Fulton's here with a look at our forecast.
Are you going to make it to midnight?
I don't know. I typically don't.
We're going to try. That's the goal. Okay, just for Penny, you know, she's excited.
I will do that for Penny.
Okay, good. So we are expecting temperatures to stay close to 20 for the next several hours. I do want to note we're wrapping up 2019. Today was very seasonable outside, but that snow we had come through last night into early this morning gave us just a little extra precipitation. So that means we finished the year officially in the top 5 wettest years on record in Madison, just over 46.25 inches of accumulation, just shy of that 4th year at 46. Notice 2018 in that 2nd place spot, 2019 in the 5th place spot. I think we can all hope that if we can keep 2020 out of the top 5, that would be fantastic. I'm very much so on that team. Right now, our high-resolution Doppler is nice and calm. We have a mostly clear sky right now, so temperatures are going to be a little colder tonight. If you are heading out still for New Year's Eve plans, or if you're just going to pop outside real quick for your midnight yelling, I do know that you may have to bundle up a little bit. It's just a little chilly. Temperatures, as we get closer to midnight, staying near 20 degrees. We aren't going to drop too much. Overnight lows will be in the upper teens for early New Year's Day in the morning. If you are heading out to work early in the day, we have that sunny sky early on and partly sunny later in the afternoon. It really should be a pleasant day. Most folks, of course, have the day off. So if you have any outdoor things you need to get done, take the Christmas lights down. Tomorrow should be a pretty calm day to do so. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s for the afternoon highs. For Thursday, a little more cloud coverage building in. Plan on a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures for early in the morning will fall to the low 30s for our overnight lows. And then in the afternoon, looking ahead to about 3-4 o'clock, we'll still have that mostly cloudy sky, but there is going to be a light chance for a little bit of rain to creep on in. Not expecting a lot of accumulation. In fact, those accumulation totals will hover around a few tenths of an inch, if that. Most of the area will stay closer to about 1/100 of an inch. So not a lot of rain coming through Thursday night or into Friday. So that means if you're getting the car cleaned, it's going to stay clean for a few days. Though Thursday and Friday with that small rain chance coming on through. Some folks, again, might see just a little bit more with that. The wax should be fine. It's not too cold outside to add any wax to the car. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the 30s for your New Year's Day. Again, a partly sunny sky, so overall a really pleasant start to 2020. We'll start the year off on a good note before we have a little bit of a rain chance creeping in for late on Thursday. Otherwise, Thursday is going to be very mild outside because temperatures will stay above freezing heading into Friday. This is just a rain event for Friday. Though late at night, temperatures will start to fall into the upper 20s, so it may mix with a little bit of snow before coming to an end, but we won't see any accumulation. Along with that, for the weekend, temperatures will be in the 30s. We'll have a little bit of sun for Saturday and Sunday, and by next week, it does seem likely that our temps will fall closer to average in the mid to low 20s, so a little more wintry outside for the middle and end of next week, the first full week of January. But it's nice to, of course, start off the year with some good weather. Last year was a little wicked outside, so having a calm New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is good news.
We will take it.
Yes.
Thank you, Dana. Ahead at 10, Wisconsin has had some historic running backs play in the Rose Bowl game. How Jonathan Taylor plans to add to the Badger legacy, coming up next in sports.
Well, happy New Year's Eve. Happy Rose Bowl Eve from Los Angeles. Now, Jonathan Taylor's name has become synonymous with greatness in college football, but that greatness didn't come easily at all, and he doesn't want it to stop here. He wants to cap it off with a standout game in the Rose Bowl like Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bush did in their respective years. And for that to happen, well, JT knows how big that'll be for him and the Badgers.
Whenever you get complacent on what you've done, that's when you kind of start to fall off. So you always got to continue to stay hungry and be ready to get better and find ways to work. I would like to have games like those guys, how they had in the Rose Bowl. We'll have to wait and see.
If you're going to run the ball, you need all 11. If you're going to throw the ball, you need all 11. You know, love having JT. We think he's really good, and our opponents know that too. So they're going to do things to take that away.
Now, the Badgers have a lot to be proud of this season, according to the head coach. And yes, they did have some bumps along the way, like the loss at Illinois. But he says they also came back and overcame adversity, like bringing the Axe back to Madison. And that whole journey, well, that's the most important.
Every team wants to go undefeated. And you know what? There's teams that have, and hats off to those that do that. But enjoy the journey and appreciate the journey. I think everyone else worries a lot more than we do because we know the reality of it. And everyone is focused on the end. And I think if you focus on the end, you're going to miss the best part. And that's the playing the game or playing out the season.
To a former Badger now, J.J. Watt will play football again this season, this postseason actually, after he's been out since he tore pectoral muscle on October 27th. But clearly he worked hard and defied the odds in rehab and will be ready to go in the Texans playoff game against the Bills this Sunday. Meanwhile, former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy could very well be employed in the NFL again. We've been seeing his name pop up for various head coaching jobs, the latest being the Giants. They fired Pat Shurmur after he led the team to a 9-23 record in 2 seasons. McCarthy's name also swirling around the Browns head coaching opening as well. Finally tonight, the Wisconsin men's basketball team hosting Ryder at the Kohl Center. We pick it up in the second half. Demetric Trice at the top of the key for 3, and the Badgers up big. Later, adding to their lead, Brad Davison driving, pulling up 4-2, and 4 Badgers scoring in double digits tonight to bring out a win for the end of 2019. Wisconsin wins at 65-37. Back out here in California tomorrow, the 106th Rose Bowl between Oregon and Wisconsin. Kickoff at 4 o'clock Central Time on ESPN. We'll, of course, have all the post-game coverage for you tomorrow night on News 3 Now at 10. For now, in Los Angeles, I'm Melissa Kim. News 3 Now Sports. We'll be right back.
a look at our forecast.
Right now it's a little cold outside, but we are looking at a pretty quiet start to 2020. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the upper 30s for afternoon highs with a partly sunny sky. For Thursday, mostly cloudy. We're in the mid-40s. Small chance for some light rain on Friday, and this weekend we get the sunshine back. The temperatures will be in the 30s.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. Do something good and be safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow.